Most open source text-to-speech models sound like someone reading a grocery list, so disjointed and sometimes very extremely robotic, like really robotic. But today we'll be setting up a state-of-the-art text-to-speech model called Chatterbox, and it's by ResembleAI. You can head over to the Hugging Face page and check them out. They have some other models, I think. And this model actually sounds decent and way more expressive than most other open source models. And like I said earlier, it's completely open source under the MIT license. But they do claim it beats 11 labs. That's something they do claim. They keep claiming here. Like as you can see here, they said Chatterbox has been benchmarked against leading closed source systems like 11 labs and is consistently preferred in side by side evaluations. Honestly, everyone actually claims that, but today we'll be putting it to the test. And they also dropped a link to some zero shot demo examples, which we'll be taking a look at in this particular video. Let's play one of them. Okay, this is a prompt. That is the reference audio they gave it.
Yes, and you're right. Of course he will be. You'll see me in my hotel office before you leave this evening, Sid.
So this is one of the audio they actually generated with an exaggeration of 0.5. There's also exaggeration of 1 and also 2.0. So let's just play it.
Everybody be cool. This is a robbery. Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you. Everybody be cool. This is a robbery. Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you. Everybody be cool! This is a robbery! Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
Wow, really, really exaggerated and high pitch. Okay, these are some of the expressive speech. You can see here, this is a reference audio.
You know, Grandpa goes around and he does his business in public because Grandpa...
I think that's Ricky from Rick and Morty, I think so.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, Commander of the Armies of the North, General of the Felix Legion.
Not bad, not bad. It actually sounds like it.
Yes, and you're right. Of course he will be. You'll see me in my hotel. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
That's really, really accurate. But anyways, we'll actually be putting it to the test, and since they did say all the samples here are actually zero shots, our test will definitely be zero shots. So no reruns of the same configuration for quality audio. That is basically, I won't be doing any reruns if it doesn't generate quality audio at zero shots, so I won't be rerunning it for that. But I'll be doing other tests, definitely. I'll be tweaking the configuration. But to generate quality audio, if it doesn't generate quality audio once, I won't be doing any reruns because they did say zero shots and they did hype it a lot. So we'll definitely be putting it to the test. And further details, if we scroll down here, as you can see, they did say it was actually built on a 0.5 llama backbone, as you can see here, and it came with something I'll definitely be playing with, which is emotion exaggeration control, which they actually said here, unique exaggeration and intensity control. That's something it actually came with, because you can dial up or down how dramatic or expressive you want the voice to actually sound, which is very useful if you plan to actually use this audio for anything useful, just anything useful at all. You definitely need it to sound either dramatic or at least expressive instead of monotone and really robotic. Anyways, the model was also trained on over, I think it was just trained on 0.5 million hours. That is 500k hours of cleaned audio data. That's what it was actually trained with, which is really substantial for an open source release compared to other open source text-to-speech model. This is really good. So they're also doing something interesting with watermarking. That's something they actually stated here. So they actually watermarked outputs, and if we scroll down, they did mention it here: built-in path watermarking for responsible AI. That is, every audio file that's generated is being watermarked, so it can actually survive compression and editing. So that's something they actually take really, really seriously. So they've set up a Gradio app on Hugging Face. On Hugging Face Spaces, they have their own Hugging Face Spaces page. So you can head over there and test the model out for yourself. You can actually test that for yourself. You can actually add the text, provide your reference audio file, and also play around with the exaggeration. As you can see here, neutral equal to 0.5, extreme values can be unstable, blah blah blah. You also have the pace, the speaker pace. That's something you can actually play around with, and you can also press here for more options. Play around with the temperature, and then generate your audio. You have your output audio here. So just try it out and see how well it actually performs. But in this video, we'll definitely be putting it to the test. So anyways, the model supports zero shot voice cloning because they kept bragging about it here. On these demo samples, they did mention it a lot. So it also handles voice conversion through what they call easy voice conversion scripts. That's something they did mention over here, easy voice conversion script. Some of them did mention they keep bragging about the fact that it actually outperforms 11 labs. And you can click on the link and check out their benchmarks and all that. Anyways, FYI, they do have an official GitHub repo. That's something you should take note of. I don't think they actually linked it here, but they do have an official GitHub repo, and this is it, basically. So this is their GitHub repo, and I'll be dropping the link to it in the video description. Anyways, I did clone it to my project directory, but you don't need to actually do that because we can just copy this to back here. We can just copy this and open up our IDE where I have Python 3.10, and I also have my virtual environment already activated, as you can see here. Now I'm going to paste it in and run it. I already have it installed, so it should just run. Anyways, that's something you can actually do. I have the GitHub repo already cloned here to the CB directory, as you can see, and I also have main.py, which contains a basic setup. If we head back to the Hugging Face page, you will definitely see this particular code there. As you can see, this is the code which we have in main.py. So you can just copy it and paste it in your own file, in your own main.py file, and you're good to go. So anyways, I did paste this here. The GitHub repo actually has example for Mac. You can definitely do this if you want to actually run this on Mac. You can use the examples and just run it. So it's really cool. So since I'm not running this locally on my MacBook, I'm running this on the cloud server. I won't actually be using this code. I'll just be using your basic code, and I'll be making some changes to main.py right now. And over here, as you can see, we have our imports and we have our Chatterbox TTS class, and it's definitely loading up the model. And since we actually run this on a CPU, on our cloud server, we do not have any GPU, so we do not have access to any NVIDIA GPUs. So definitely, it'll change this to CPU. But if you're running this on a cloud server that does actually have a GPU with CUDA already set up, make sure you actually leave it as CUDA. And we're going to be passing in our text here. This is the text string. I'll be changing this text string definitely. And this is the generate function. Now, you can just generate audio from the text, and we'll be doing that right now. That's the first test we'll actually be doing. And our second test will definitely be the voice cloning. But both of them actually uses the same text string. But if you look over in the voice cloning section, we do have audio prompt path, which is basically the file path to the audio which you want to clone a particular voice from. So let's say I have my audio here, Austin the Wave, which contains my voice basically, and I also have Peter Griffin and also Optimus. In this video, we won't be touching Jarvis because we have actually done that in lots of other videos. So we'll just be covering this tree in this particular video. But anyways, the next line is the model generates, which takes in the same text, like I said, and the audio prompt path. But it also takes in other arguments. If you head over to example for Mac, as you can see, you can pass in exaggeration and also the config weight. And over in their GitHub page, they did give some tips. As you can see, general use, TTS and voice agents, default settings, exaggeration 0.5, CFG weight 0.5, work well for most prompts. If the reference speaker has a fast speaking style, lowering CFG weight to around 0.3 can improve pacing. Expressive or dramatic speech, try lower CFG weight values, e.g. 0.3, and increase exaggeration to around 0.7 or higher. So higher exaggeration tends to speed up speech. Reducing CFG helps compensate with slower, more deliberate pacing. So this is a tip you can definitely use. Play around with it if you want something more expressive and dramatic. Anyways, let's head back to main.py and let's comment this out, because all it's doing here in the last line is saving the WAV file. But let's change the text string. We're going to paste in what we actually want to pass in. We'll just paste in our own text. So I have the text pasted in, and now we can actually run it and see how it actually performs. And in this line, something else it actually does is it actually pulls the model weight from our Hugging Face Hub. Now, if you want to set this all up in one directory where you have all the model weights in this same direction, maybe you create a model directory, you can change this to from local. So what you could do is clone this particular repo by using the Hugging Face CLI, or you can use Git to actually do it. But you can also download each of these files. You can download from cons.pp down to the save thing. So you can just download all of them and put in the models directory, which you can then put in your project directory. So it's definitely up to you. The easier way is to just clone it or use Hugging Face Hub CLI. That's something you can use to download it into your project directory. But I'm going to clone this repo instead. So I'm going to type in git clone, paste in this link, and I'm going to clone it into the models directory. So it's going to pull all the model weights. It's just pull everything that was actually found on Hugging Face Hub. Now if I head over there, as you can see, we have all the files that was found in Hugging Face Hub. So it's really that simple. You can do it this way, or you could use the Hugging Face CLI to download that particular Hugging Face repo. So it's really straightforward. So now we're going to run this code, and since I haven't changed this to from local and done all the necessary configuration, this is going to automatically pull the model weight from Hugging Face Hub and save it in our cache directory or cache directory, and then load up the model. So let's run the code. So as you can see, it's actually pulling all the model weights from the Hugging Face Hub, and it has saved our wave file, tests-1.wave.
Every day I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending. Shar doesn't ask for love, only obedience, but sometimes I dream of light, and when I wake, I feel guilty for missing it.
So something we should actually try is, let's see if it will generate the same voice. So let's run it again, and this time it will automatically load up the model instead of pulling it from the Hugging Face Hub. Okay, it has saved it to test-2.wave.
Every day I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending. Shar doesn't ask for love, only obedience, but sometimes I dream of light, and when I wake, I feel guilty for missing it.
Now let's play this one.
Every day I carry her name like a shield.
Same thing, same voice, which means you could use this as a text-to-speech model and ignore the voice cloning part. But the voice cloning part, I think, is the most interesting part of this model. So let's just head over to the voice cloning section. And I'm going to change this to Optimus. And we're going to be passing this normal. But let's leave this as is. I don't think I need to change this. Just no need for that. Let's play the Optimus.wave so you can hear how the default voice actually sound, how the voice we want to clone actually sound. It's dubbed audio.
And just when all hope seemed lost, message of a new discovery drew us to an unknown.
But we'll see if this model can still do a good job from that dubbed audio. So let's just run the code and wait for it to be done. Okay, it has finished generating test-2.wave. Let's hear it.
Every day I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending. Shar doesn't ask for love, only obedience. But sometimes I dream of light, and when I wake, I feel guilty for missing it.
Not bad. It's not actually that bad. I do think it's got a bit of it. It got the deepness of the voice and all that. But let's actually add the exaggeration. Let's set it equal to maybe 0.7 or something. Let's just set it to 1. Let's run this code. Okay, it's done. Let's just...
Every day I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending. Shar doesn't ask for love, only obedience. But sometimes I dream of light, and when I wake, I feel guilty for missing it.
It actually did a good job when it comes to the exaggeration, which we actually increased. It actually did a pretty decent job as we actually upped the exaggeration, but it's still the same thing. So what I'm gonna do next is try out male Griffin.wave. That's what we're gonna be cloning next to see if it actually does a much better job. So let's see if it'll actually do a better job, but this time we're taking away the exaggeration. Let's see. Meanwhile, let's preview the male _Peter Griffin.wave, which we're actually trying to clone now.
Well, I'm getting something really special, too. And by special, I don't mean special like that Kleineman boy down.
Very good. Okay, let's wait for it to be done cloning. Okay, it's actually done cloning Peter Griffin.
Every day, I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending. Shar doesn't ask for love, only obedience, but sometimes I dream of light, and when I wake, I feel guilty for missing it.
Okay, let's add the exaggeration and let's drop the CFG weight. So let's rerun it. It's done. Let's play it.
Every day, I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending. Shar doesn't ask for love, only obedience, but sometimes I dream of light, and when I wake, I feel guilty for missing it.
Not bad, but it's still, there's a tone, like it still misses some parts of that particular speaker's voice. So let's actually try my own audio. Let's hear it. Zonos is a really great model by Zifra, and they believe that Zonos generation quality matches or exceeds. Okay, I think that was from a previous video. So let's pass in Austin the wave. And let's just send this to 0. Let's take away the CFG weight and let's run it and see if it will actually do a much better job at cloning my voice. Let's run it. Okay, it's done generating test-2.wave. Is this me talking? Or every day I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending? Shah doesn't ask for love, only obedience, but sometimes I dream of light, and when I wake, I feel guilty for missing it. Not bad. It actually did a good job with my voice. Is this me talking? Or is this me talking? Every day I carry her name like a shield. Is this me? So it actually managed to clone my voice a bit, but the accent is still horrible. It's giving me a very weird accent, which I don't actually have, so I honestly don't understand. Anyways, let's do something. Let's lower the CFG weight. Let's set it to 0.1. Let's see if it will do away with the accent. Okay, it's done generating the audio. Is this me talking? Or every day I carry her name like a shield, and every night I wonder what I'm defending? Shah doesn't ask for love, only obedience, but sometimes I dream of light, and when I... This is even worse. This is actually way worse. This is way worse. Way worse. Anyways, it actually generated quality audio. In terms of voice cloning, it just capped at 60 to 70%. It actually got, like, in terms of accuracy, cloning the speaker like perfectly. I think I would give it 60 to 70% between that range. That's where I would actually rank it. So another thing you can actually do is set up the Gradio app. They do have an example here in their GitHub repo. As you can see, this is the Gradio TTS app. So what I'm going to do is I'll just copy the file and I'll paste it here so I can just run it. So I don't have Gradio installed. As you can see, I don't have Gradio installed. So I'm going to install Gradio. Okay, let's run this Gradio app. Something else you can actually do. So I have this public URL. Let's head over to our browser. So I have this here. Now what I'm going to do is select Jarvis for this particular test. So this is Jarvis audio.
Accessing alarm and interface settings. In this window, you can set up your customized...
Now this is the text, the left there, but let's use it. And we're just going to use the default settings. As you can see, it's processing. Okay, it's done generating. We could download the audio file, but let's play it.
Now let's make my mum's favorite. So 3 Mars bars into the pan. Then we add the tuna and just stir for a bit. Just let the chocolate and fish infuse. A sprinkle of olive oil and some tomato ketchup. Now smell that. Oh boy, this is going to be incredible.
It actually did a much better job with Jarvis's voice. Maybe it's the quality of the audio or something, but it actually did a much better job. Or maybe the training data was saturated with mostly British speakers or something. I do not know. But this was much better. You can tweak it a bit, but I don't want this video to actually go on for way too long than it needs to. So the reason why I was able to open this up on my browser, even though I'm not running it locally, is because over here we did set share to true. If you set this to false, you would only have access locally. It will only generate the local URL. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. And so for my final thoughts, from our testing, the voice cloning capability is genuinely impressive for an open source model. The inference speed is actually quite fast, especially since we're actually running this on a CPU, which means it's practical for actual use rather than just being a research curiosity or something. And also the emotion control feature, like the exaggeration parameter and then the CFG weight, it's really useful. Like it actually, you can actually hear the difference when you actually adjust those parameters. It's not just making things louder or softer, but it actually changes the speaker delivery style and pace, which is really cool to see in an open source model. As with most things, it actually has a con or lots of cons, basically. Definitely it has some limitations, especially when I tried cloning my voice. Like you heard, it's giving me a very weird accent, which I didn't actually have, which means maybe while they were actually training the model, the dataset was saturated with mostly British speakers and it was really good with Jarvis. Anyways, the watermarking is also something else. While it's good for responsible AI practice, it might be a consideration depending on your use case, depending on what you want to actually use it for. And also, since it's a 0.5B or let's say 500 million parameter model, it means it's not tiny compared to something like Cocker that is just 82 million parameters, which is really lightweight. So you still need a decent hardware to run it smoothly, especially if you're planning to use it in production. But I do think it's a legitimate competitor in the TTS space. It's definitely competes with things like Fish Speech and Zonos. But whether it truly beats 11 Labs consistently is something you would need to actually test with your specific use case. So it's definitely worth trying for high quality TTS and voice cloning. So that's going to be it for this video. If you do want to see more videos like this, make sure you do subscribe, hit that bell notification icon to get notified whenever we release a new video on this channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice one.